So when it comes to getting into home ownership, we all know that if you don't have cash right now, like the cash to buy the house outright, you actually are going to have to qualify for a mortgage with the bank. But a huge question that keeps popping up, and what holds a lot of people back from getting into a home today, is if the bank has turned them down from a mortgage, what options do they have? And you know what? That's really a fair question, because most people don't think they have any options when it comes to getting into a home once they've been turned down, or they have to wait a long time. They have to do a lot of things, but they just don't think there's any option to getting into that home today. And I get it, because people are worried about house prices skyrocketing, and by the time they can qualify, they're not going to be able to get into a home. Maybe they think they're just going to pay rent forever. They don't know how to fix the problems in their credit or whatever the problem is that keeps them from qualifying. It all makes sense. But here's the thing. In order to get into a house today and have the time to qualify for the bank mortgage in the future while you're actually living in the house, you need to go directly to the homeowner who owns the home and get them to make a deal with you to let you into the house today and buy it and rent it and buy it in the future. This is commonly known as rent to own. And when it comes to actually getting a homeowner to turn their home into a rent to own, there's 3 key steps that you need to actually make this happen. Okay. The first step is you actually need to attract homeowners who are willing to turn their home into a rent to own. Now, a lot of times you do that by posting ads on Kijiji or Craigslist or Facebook. Maybe you're going to do some bandit signs in the neighborhoods, looking for homeowners willing to rent to own their home. Maybe you're going to cold call people who have homes for sale by owner or for rent, or maybe you're just going to go knocking on doors. Whatever your strategy is, you have to attract the homeowner who has the house and is willing to let you rent to own it from them. Now, the second thing is you need to negotiate with the owner to get a fair price and terms for the rent to own. Now, you need to come to some sort of agreement on 5 specific things when it comes to negotiating on a rent to own. The first thing is the monthly payment. The second is the end sale price. A third is the length of term of the rent to own. The fourth is how much of a down payment you're going to give the homeowner when you sign contracts up front. And the fifth thing you negotiate on is what the repair and maintenance amount will be. So you'll be responsible for repairs and maintenance up to a certain dollar value, and the homeowner will be responsible for after that. So what is that dollar value, and what's that number going to be? And the third key thing is you need to sign rent-to-own specific contracts with the homeowner. Now, in this, there's actually 3 separate contracts, 3 separate agreements. Don't be putting it all on one agreement, because that'll never hold up in court. You won't be able to protect yourself. You need 3 specific contracts. The first one is a lease agreement. And you can just use a lease agreement from your typical resident tenancy board in your province. The second contract is a purchase contract, like the ones they would use for buying and realtors use for buying and selling houses. And the third contract is the most important and the most powerful, and that's the option contract. So you definitely want to make sure you have all 3 of those. And like I said, don't have them all on one document. They have to be 3 separate documents. So make sure you contact a lawyer that specializes in rent-to-own, or contact a rent-to-own specialist themselves who does this on a regular basis.